Hi there. My name is Tara Sabalski, Director of Partnerships here at BlueJay. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about how BlueJay is revolutionizing AI for tax research. This 10-minute video will walk you through how small firms and sole practitioners are benefiting from BlueJay, and I'll spend some time towards the end of the video taking you through a live tour of the platform. We'll get my screen shared here and we'll get started. So BlueJay is the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. CPA.com is dedicated to providing the accounting industry with relevant resources on how the profession is advancing, particularly with AI. We all know that classic trade-off in tax research. You either get super high quality answers from traditional tools like BNA, CCH, or Checkpoint, but you sacrifice speed, or you get quick answers from tools like Google or maybe other AI chatbots like ChatGPT, but you can't always trust the accuracy and you don't necessarily have verifiable sources. We find, especially with small firms and sole practitioners, those traditional tools on the left-hand side here, they can be cost prohibitive. That's the problem that we set out to solve, that juxtaposition between quality and efficiency. Small tax teams tell us that they are constantly stretched. They're juggling client requests, they're doing research, and of course, they're translating that research into client-ready memos and emails, especially when trying to navigate unfamiliar areas of tax or leading junior staff that maybe don't have years of experience to back them up. That is extremely challenging for the average small firm or sole practitioner. BlueJay takes the heavy lifting off your plate. BlueJay helps you supercharge your small team by generating verifiable tax answers in seconds. It also allows you to focus on the client experience by letting BlueJay handle the heavy lifting on research and drafting. And lastly, you can grow your expertise with BlueJay. You can learn unfamiliar areas of tax with our expansive library of trusted source materials, including stats and regs from the IRS, commentary from tax notes, relevant cases, and of course, state and local tax content as well. And it works. Among our small firm users, we have 51 questions asked per user per month among sole practitioners and small firms. That's incredibly high usage. 89% of small firms and sole pracs are actively asking questions every single month. So we have incredibly high monthly active usage from this segment. And on average, we're seeing 2.7 hours saved per week on tax research and drafting. So that's 2.7 hours, almost 3 hours back in your work week to be focusing on clients, having a better work-life balance, et cetera, et cetera. So what are our customers saying? Here are what some of our customers say about their experience with BlueJay. Just to highlight a couple of these, one sole practitioner told us that BlueJay is absolutely one of the best investments I've ever made into my business. I'm a one-person company and feel the biggest thing I'm lacking is a team to bounce ideas off of. Now I feel like I have a team backing me up, and what a huge load off my shoulders. Another one said that with BlueJay, I was able to find multiple authoritative sources in less than a minute. It would have taken me hours and hours to find this using traditional tools. So these voices, they reflect exactly what we're striving for, giving small teams and sole practitioners the confidence, the clarity, the capacity to thrive in a complex tax environment. So let's dive into a bit of a live demo of BlueJay here. I'll switch my screen over. This is the BlueJay tool. It's incredibly intuitive. It does not take an expert to learn how to use BlueJay. In fact, we have some tips and tricks on the main screen here that will always help you to get started when you're writing out prompts. But we'll start out with a kind of a standard prompt here. So let me go in and I will ask a question. So we're going to ask BlueJay, what are the rules regarding exclusion of gain on the sale of a home? When you prompt BlueJay with a question, one of the first things that is worth noting is that we have a comprehensive curated database of content that BlueJay is pulling from. One of the largest differences between like a ChatGPT and a BlueJay is the fact that we are not scraping the entirety of the internet. We license our source materials and content directly from the IRS. We've got news and commentary from tax notes. We've got state and local tax content built into BlueJay's algorithm as well, so that you're able to trust and verify the sources that are coming through. BlueJay will not pick up, a random blog post, for instance, when it's generating an answer. So we've asked our question here at the top. I can see that BlueJay has given me a comprehensive answer. We've got the general rule for exclusion here with eligibility requirements, an exclusion amount, frequency limitations, special rules and limitations. So depending on the question you ask and the complexity, the format may change a little bit within BlueJay, but generally speaking, you will always see a full comprehensive answer here, including inline citations. So that's those blue identifiers here that will take you directly to that source material that's pulling into the answer. And then if I scroll to the bottom of my answer here, we actually have a table of key requirements. So really, really easy and quick to be able to understand the answer you're getting back from BlueJay that way. And then you'll see your cited sources here at the bottom. So this is something that really sets BlueJay apart, is that we are gathering your answer from multiple authoritative sources, and they're all cited inline and at the bottom of your answer. So if I wanted to look at the statute that was the first cited source here, I can quite literally see this entire statute. I can read through the entire section 121 here if I'd like to. I could also say, hey, BlueJay, can you summarize this source? So we'll say summarize this source. And now BlueJay is going to give me a quicker, kind of easy to read summary. So I don't necessarily need to spend an entire half an hour reading through a full source. So now I've got a quick summary. I can easily understand this concept. And if I click out of there, I can actually flip through and see the other cited sources that were a part of generating my answer. So I've got a regulation, you might have some cases, et cetera. You can always, interact with these sources and ask questions about them as well. A couple other things when you're seeing an answer pop up here, you will have suggested follow-up questions. So these are questions that we have typically seen when you ask that initial question. The algorithm knows that these are related questions that might allow you to dive further into your research. So if you were to click one of those questions, BlueJay will start to generate its follow-up answer for you there. And something else worth noting is the ability to thumbs up or thumbs down an answer. So you can actually directly interact with BlueJay while you're using the tool. That allows us to get feedback in real time. We have a legal research team in-house that is, made up of lawyers and accountants that are interacting with the tool and are monitoring for quality at all times. And you'll actually receive, if you disagree with an answer, you will actually receive an answer or feedback from our team directly. So it's not just the BlueJay in-house team or you yourself that are, improving the algorithm, but we've got well over 10,000 users that are all helping to improve answers in real time with BlueJay. So the quality of the tool truly does get better every single day. So something else worth noting here is the ability to draft. I spoke about that earlier in the presentation there, the ability to create an email, create a memo. How are you going to communicate this research back to your client? So you've actually got a couple quick buttons here. You could click, I could say, hey, create a client email. I'm actually going to say create a client email, non-tax wording, less than 250 words. So you can get very specific with BlueJay, and the tool will know to handle that prompt, accordingly. So now we've got a quick answer to your client. It's important here, we've said non-tax wording. A lot of the time what we hear from small firms is that they're having to take a bunch of technical research and jargon and then translate that back into the world of their client, which is obviously someone that's probably not a tax expert. So this is a really helpful way to save time, taking that research that you've done and actually translating it back to your client in terms that they will understand. So you can quite literally copy paste this email, bring it back over to Outlook or Gmail, and be on your way. So a really great way to save some time on the drafting front. I'll show another question here. I think it would be helpful. We started to bring SALT, state and local tax content into BlueJay. So I'll ask a SALT question here as well. I'll say, hey, when are estimated tax payments due for the pass-through entity tax in Hawaii, for instance? Again, BlueJay is going to search through our entire database to pull this answer. This is obviously a fairly straightforward question with a black and white answer, but you'll see that the tool is kind of pulling from a variety of sources there, and we're now generating that answer live. So here you go. We've got our full answer here. This is for tax years beginning after December 31st, 2024, for the 2025 tax year and beyond. Something else worth noting about the tool, and it's one of the most common questions we get asked, is how up to date is BlueJay? Tax regulations are changing almost daily. How does the tool keep up? It's hard enough, to keep up as a tax expert yourself. So something to note is that we actually have daily feeds coming in from all of our various partners on the content front. So I can actually see day to day how many new sources are getting uploaded into the tool and what's getting updated as well. So you've got new content being uploaded, net new content, and updates to existing documentation. So you can know that the tool is absolutely up to date on that front. You can also ask BlueJay questions according to a specific year as well if you're filing for a previous year. So you've got that answer below. Again, you've also got a nice kind of clean summary table depending on the payment number. So really kind of comprehensive and a really kind of quick and easy way to start doing your tax research for this content here. So that's really kind of a high-level overview of BlueJay. I hope that gave you a general understanding of the tool. A couple quick things on the navigation front as well. You can always export or print your answers. So if you need to export them to PDF or print them, you'll have those handy kind of quick buttons on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, this is where you'll see an entire search history of all of your previous threads. So these live in BlueJay indefinitely. You can always go back to a previous thread, refer to it, send it to a colleague, or even, expand upon it and dive further into your research there. So all of your threads do get saved there on the left-hand side. So just to wrap up here, you can learn more and get started at bluejay.com/partnership/CPA. Thanks again for your time, and we hope this gave you a helpful look at what's possible with BlueJay.